Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Sorry, I'm just leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Friday Night SmackDown, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, we're officially back covering wrestling again. Did not get last week's episode of SmackDown and this past Monday Night Raw episodes because I was on vacation. And now we are back and I'm able to watch the shows live and I can give my actual analysis heading into it. And I thought this was going to be the perfect episode. It's the penultimate SmackDown. Got to really overheat the pudding here because next week is WrestleMania, baby. And I got to say, this episode of SmackDown was not bad. But, you know, it was just fine. It was just another good episode of SmackDown. I feel like WWE is starting to come around to the 3-hour mark, although I still think it does go a little long. I think the gauntlet really benefited this episode of SmackDown as well. And again, it's just one of those things where, look, this road to WrestleMania was really, really long. And it also goes back to, is this the weakest of the Triple H eras of the road to WrestleMania? Sure, absolutely, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. I gotta say, when we got to the portion of the show where they were announcing where each match is going to land on each night, I gotta say, I was getting really excited. Like, I am still very much looking forward to the show. I still think it is a very good card to look at. Yeah, sure, some of the builds could have been better. Absolutely. There really isn't that one, well, maybe minus Cody and Cena. And the women's world title match, the triple threat, got a huge pop as well. So a lot of people are anticipating that match as well. But I gotta say, as it was coming up, like when Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano showed up, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. When they showed the Intercontinental Fatal 4-Way, I was like, yep, that looks exciting. Tiffany Charlotte has come around for me. The angle that they did before where, you know, they borrowed from Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes from Bad Blood, where Charlotte attacks Tiffany Stratton. There's no cameras around. They just relied on the audience's phones to pick it up, and they did. That was a really good angle as well. Then the brawl that they had afterwards, and now supposedly they worked us all along after last week's apparent off-script moment, and now apparently they are working it into it. Was it a work all along? Did they really go off script? I gotta tell you, I don't really care. I think this feud was just really, really muddy. I'm surprised they're not both brunette at this point with how much of a low blows they've been going at each other. And I gotta give it to Tiffany Stratton. She has really fought back to the point where now I don't really know who is going to win. If this was truly all a work, great job to everyone behind the scenes and in front of the camera. They did a good job. Is it still the best built title program heading into Mania? No, I would actually say out of the 4 world titles, it is probably 4th, but that doesn't make it a bad build. I'm still anticipating this match, and I can't really call who's going to walk out with the title going into it. My gut still says Charlotte is going to walk away with it. But now, you know, again, Tiffany has been putting in a lot of work. And with Charlotte standing tall at the end of this episode of, well, not at the end, but during the ending of their segment, does lead me to think, you know, usually when one person is looking strong heading into the show, the other person is winning at the actual show. But yeah, I think they've done good. If it was a work all along, good on them. If it was a shoot that got turned into a work, then, you know, as long as everyone signed off on it and now they have clearer heads, I will say there is a difference. I think it was a shoot that turned into a work because the demeanor of Charlotte towards Tiffany has changed. You know, sometimes you do just got to be very, very disrespectful to someone to earn that respect. Because, again, the way that Charlotte was laying in on her, sure, maybe she was giving some receipts, but it really did seem like she was trying to get Tiffany over as the sympathetic babyface because, again, Charlotte was pulling no punches whatsoever. It just looked, you know, real. And, again, was that returning receipts? I don't know. Is it because they actually hate each other? I don't know, but I like the intrigue to that, and I like the angle that they were doing it for it. Yeah, I'm anticipating that match as well. I mean, just really the whole card, minus the World Tag Team title match. Not because of the talent involved. I really do want New Day to win those belts. I think they need to win them. I've been preaching that all the way through. It's just that there hasn't been much of a story there. AJ and Logan, I know it's going to be a good match. But, the story just hasn't really been there. It's just one of those things. And, the WWE tag titles being presented on this episode of SmackDown, that they will be on WrestleMania SmackDown and not on WrestleMania itself. Like I say, they put in a lot of work on those tag titles. And I think, if we had to choose one of them, I think the WWE tag team title should have been defended on the Greatest Show, and the World tag titles should have been defended on WrestleMania Raw. But, we are where we are at. Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns will have a good match. Maybe, there's some chaos that presumes, and then another match does get added to WrestleMania. For that, Randy Orton's road is still not clear. Him and Aldis had a segment. It did look like we were heading towards that, and I was interested. And then Solo Sikoa's music hit. And I know a lot of people are not really looking forward to Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania. I gotta say, when it comes to best of 2024, Solo Sikoa is up there, and he deserves a match at WrestleMania. Like, it still kind of bugs me that Nia Jax doesn't have a match. Now, if she is actually injured, which I heard she's not. I heard she is not injured, and they just didn't have anything of use for her. It really upsets me that she's not on the show. And Solo Sikoa was part of that as well, because he did have a good year. He was constantly within the main event. He deserves a match at the Showcase of the Immortals, not just being at ringside for Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu definitely deserves a match with LA Knight. Solo just deserves have a shot somewhere else within on the card. And I think being a substitute for Kevin Owens is a good call for that as well. And also with the fact that, look, he's not going to win. Randy Orton was always going to win the feud with Kevin Owens, which is why you don't rush a Malachi Black. You don't rush Rusev/Miro coming back to face Randy Orton. And you do this one because Orton is going to win, because presumably you would assume at Backlash St. Louis, he would be in the main event facing either John Cena or Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. So I have no problems within it. It was just a shitty hand that WWE was dealt with. This was never the original plan. No one anticipated Kevin Owens to be like, hey, I got to have surgery, otherwise I'll die. And, heart goes out to him. I mean, it looks like he's going to miss for next year's WrestleMania with how his surgery it's either coming up or he already had it, and he has a very, very long road ahead of him. So, big prayers up to Kevin Owens. Just stay strong, man. We can't wait to see you back here on the show. But yeah, it was just a shitty hand. Solo Sikoa coming in. Again, I think he deserves the spot. It is what it is. Our mid-card titles for the women, we just need to hit them harder. Coming out on the other side. I will hope post-Mania, because you would assume more of the returns come back. Maybe Alexa Bliss becomes a more frequent character on weekly television. Maybe the Y6 come back. Then we have, Rusev/Miro and Aleister Black coming back as well, along with some of the NXT call-ups. Roxanne could be actually established, or we could just hit that mid-card title and the tag divisions on all three brands much more harder heading into it, where I would like to see where the world titles for both the men and women take a little bit of a step back. Not necessarily not being showcased, but be more attractions. The main event scene for both the women and the men, I think, are very, very healthy. We need to attack these mid-card titles, because even though I still think the IC title is relatively important, and the US title to a degree is also still important, they've lost their way from when Triple H first took over, where it was like job number one was to reestablish the mid-card. It's maybe time to go back to that and maybe do how hard he went with the mid-card title when he first took over in 2023 to the tag division and really, really hit reset on those. And then, sky's the limit. Where weekly television, we look forward to the mid-card and we have those special attractions within the main event. And then, when it comes to the pay-per-views and the PLEs or what have you, then, it's really all about the world titles. I really wouldn't mind it if, moving forward that, our PLEs are world titles only, and then the Intercontinental titles for both the men and the women are really showcased and defended within the main events on the weekly television shows. Because, yeah, Lyra Valkyria not defending her title and going for, the tag titles, just like, well, we have three people who have belts. We really want them on the show, but we're really committed to 16 matches, assuming Orton does get added. We're really, not 16, 14, sorry. I added 2, which I don't know why they couldn't just do 16. But anyway, We're really committed to 14 matches, so we're just going to put them together, and we're going to do it for the tag titles instead of doing a Fatal 4-Way, because we already have a Fatal 4-Way on the show, and we need at least 2 tag matches, 1 for each night. And then, Chelsea Green not making the show whatsoever, when I do think she has done great work on it. Was Zelina Vega the opponent for WrestleMania? Absolutely not, but that's the thing. Like, we just haven't established within the women's mid-card fully yet, and maybe that is just something for the post-Mania runaround, because now we're doing the 6-woman tag, which I thought would be on Mania. I really didn't think she was going to defend the title. I thought that would be on Mania, but now it's on WrestleMania SmackDown. It is what it is. And again, just invest more in the mid-card heading out of it, and I think we can really establish some things better. Again, I think the direction to go is treat your world champions more like attractions. They don't need to be on every single week. Maybe the challengers show up a little bit more. If you have the belt, you're playing more freely within it. And then your mid-cards, they're the workhorses. They show up every week. They're defending the titles, depending on if they're heel or faces. They still need to show up and be defending their titles along with the tag division as well. And besides that, LA Knight had his segment. He was teaming up with Orton, and then at the end, Jacob Fatu came out, did a bunch of moonsaults. It was cool. I didn't mind it. Tiffany Stratton having the match with Roxanne Perez. It was a good match. Ray Phoenix looking good. I did not get to see his match last week. I got to saw this one. He looked great. I like his move. Adios Amigo. I don't know that kick. The kick move. I don't know. I don't remember what it was called, but I did hear him going Adios Amigo or something like that. I don't recall fully what it was. That was cool. And then the muscle buster that he hit was also pretty cool as well. I don't know how he was going to hit on some of the bigger opponents, depending he's going to get bigger on the card. But again, still a cool match nevertheless. And I am looking forward to, even though again it is, that old meme of, well, Triple H is just putting all the Hispanics and Latin people together. I am looking forward to that feud with, the matches with Santos Escobar. I'm looking forward to his match with Andrade. I wouldn't mind him and Berto going at it again. And I cannot remember the other person's name of Legado del Fantasma. Apologies for that. But yeah, looking forward to that. Cody Rhodes had a great segment as well with all the WWE titles out. I will say, when they first brought the tables out, because the belts were on the table, and I just saw it, and there was 3 titles on it. I was like, oh my God, are they about to announce trios titles? And I was not excited. I was very, very nervous because again, y'all just heard my rant about the tag divisions for the men and women. I was like, we cannot be presenting these trio titles because your tag division belts are not even important. So how am I expected to take these important? But no, they were just every strap. I thought it was a good call, saying like, hey, this is Bruno's belt. Hey, here was Eddie Guerrero's belt. And then here was John Cena's spinner belt. And Cody just had me ready to go run through a wall. I literally said to my friend, I was like, where's the wall at? After that segment was over. Really looking forward to their match. It got the loudest pop when they were going through the whole entire card. Right behind, not front, they were ahead of the women's world title triple threat. Both of them on night 2. As for which night looks better, I actually really like night 1 quite a bit. I know a lot of people were saying night 1 looks like shit. I disagree. I think it looks very, very exciting to me. I think it looks like a lot of fun. I think most of those matches are the matches I can't call, like the men's triple threat match. I don't fully know. My gut says Seth, but I just don't know. Good video package from them as well. Tiffany and Charlotte, like I said, I'm not very sure on. The U.S. title match, can't really call it either. As for night 2, I'm pretty confident in most of the winners on that night. I guess that's why it doesn't excite me as much. But yeah, overall, this episode of SmackDown was fine. I am looking forward to WrestleMania. To me, it still looks like a hell of a show. I'm still very much anticipating it. WWE got dealt a shitty hand in some couple places, none by their fault whatsoever, some by their fault. But hey, it is what it is. But as excited as I am to get to Mania, I'm also very intrigued to see what we do post-Mania. Again, attacking those mid-cards and to really elevate those up a little more now that they can have a full year under their belt and we can see how the road to 42 goes. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this episode of SmackDown and the road to WrestleMania overall. Leave a like if you made it this far within a review. We went a little long this time, so I greatly appreciate it if you did. And again, hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.